Hello, children. We are back talking about this Star Wars saga. Oh, what is it called? The Skywalker saga. I hate calling it that. The Skywalker saga. It's so fucking stupid. I don't know. Like, I guess from episodes 1 to 6, it's the Skywalker saga. I mean, I don't know what Rey was calling herself at the end of Rise of Skywalker. She's no Skywalker to me. But we are back talking about episode 4, A New Hope. This movie came out in 1997. 97? Oh my god. 77. This movie must have taken everybody by such a surprise. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, probably like when Blade Runner or Terminator came out, something so, or Star Trek, when Star Trek first was the thing. Like, what the fuck is this? Fucking probes and space and all this shit. But you know, right off the bat, this movie's fantastic. We all feel this way. You know, it's a classic. So we're gonna start. The opening shot is really great. It's like fucking Leia's ship is getting chased by Star Destroyer, and immediately I love how we could have watched Rogue One and immediately popped this in, and just it's like you never left. You know, because the last shot of Rogue One is the Leia's ship going into light speed, and I guess, you know, it stops right here. So you know, that's so cool. I don't think we've ever had a movie like that where I think Nintendo, you can back me up on this. I think Halloween 2 would be an example of that, right?
Halloween 2 would be an example. Yeah.
Which
Halloween 2 really picks off.
It's like a mini series, which everyone loves Halloween 2 because of that. So then, you know, they're hiding the plans. Of course, you know, the audience doesn't know this, but we know this because we just watched Rogue One. And they're getting ready to fight off the stormtroopers, coming in with their wonderful aim. It's nowhere compared to the aim that I have, but man, wonderful aim. Obviously, it's a joke. Stormtroopers have terrible aim. God damn it. So then we get technically, we've already seen him, but this is the official first debut of the man, the myth, the legend. The thing that asthma attacks are afraid of. Darth Vader comes on screen. You fucking feel his presence. Oh my god. When Darth Vader comes on screen for the first time, be like, oh shit, what the fuck is that? Like, and I like his costume in this movie. It's, believe it or not, it is different. His helmet is like a matte black. It's not like shiny like it is normally. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but it is different, and I actually prefer it to be like that. I don't like it when it's all shiny and glossy. It looks weird. But
I didn't notice it very much, but
yeah, I guess it's because it's probably an older movie, so it is an older movie, so they probably just, yep, probably. So then we get Darth Vader interrogating the Imperials, and the line delivery from James Earl Jones, oh my god. It's like freaking Vincent Van Gogh's painting, but in audio form. I could listen to Darth Vader insulting Imperial troopers for hours, or Rebel troopers. It's amazing. That scene where he's choking the guy and he's like, he's just like insulting him. It's hilarious. I love it. Then we get to a slow point in the movie, the only slow point in the movie, which it's really disappointing. Like, it's that part where 3PO and R2 get separated. I was like, what the fuck? Like, why did it just slow down? Like, the first 5 minutes is so, like, fast-paced and action-filled. And then it becomes so slow, so fast. I was like, oh my god. Like, I don't remember this being this slow. Like, it's literally, like, Kevin can back me up on this. Like, it was like a scene out of 1917. Like, you're watching these characters do everything, and it's like, oh my god, bro. But thankfully it picks up. Then we get introduced to Luke Skywalker, and at first he comes off as a whiny little bitch, but I like the character development from Luke, and we'll talk about that in a second. Then we get to the scene that makes everybody tear up every time, when Luke watches the two sons, and that scene is amazing. It is probably one of the greatest scenes ever filmed. I never understood, like...
I didn't know if you heard it, but I just heard that same music just as you said that.
Well, I don't have the music on for copyright, but yeah, I never understood like why he does it. I know it has to mean something because, you know, it wouldn't be in the movie, but it's like I never understood like why. Hoping
to be on the next adventure, and he's just looking upon.
Yeah, probably. Like it's funny. I never understood the scene, but I love the scene. It's so weird.
That's magic of the scene.
Yeah, right. So then we get to the part where Luke goes looking for Ben, which this brings me to my next thing. How does Luke know who Ben is? Like his aunt and uncle don't tell him who Ben Kenobi is. Like he knew who Ben Kenobi was. So I want to know how he knew. Unless
the myth thing. Yeah. If anything, the closest we'll get is an explanation during.
Well, Evan, I don't think it was a Force thing because Luke didn't even know he had the Force. Unless the Force was giving him cheat sheets. Hey, between you and me, you need to go to the Sand People and find Ben Kenobi. Don't listen to the dumb bitch.
The exact same people that are like that the exact same kids from I forget what movie it was like IT-50 or something like that.
Oh yeah, this makes sense. But yeah, bro, yeah, like what if the Force was like, don't listen to the dumb bitch on the recording. His name isn't Obi-Wan, it's Ben Kenobi. Even though you'll probably forget, it's okay. But I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I have always been creeped out by the Sand People. Always. I've never, like, even now watching it, I've always been creeped out by them. That stupid noise at the and then the look on their face. It just gave me chills. I hate the look of them. Well, I mean, I like the look of them, but they're terrifying to me. So then, this brings us to Luke finding Ben, and, you know, it's cool when you're watching the series, like, the way we are, it's cool to see Obi-Wan, like, you just watched Revenge of the Sith, and now, you know, he's here after being in hiding. You know, that's cool. So then Ben gives him, you know, the encyclopedia to the Jedi, basically telling him, oh, these are who the Jedi are. I was with your father in the Clone Wars. And I like how the Clone Wars was a thing before the prequels. Like, for some reason, the Clone Wars sounds like a thing that Lucas would have made up for the prequels, but I like how the Clone Wars were a thing. Oh, excuse me, before the prequels. I wonder if Lucas always had the idea of making prequels. Probably.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he did because, what was it? I looked it up a little while ago when I was looking at the time jump. Apparently, he changed the title from just Star Wars to Episode 4, A New Hope, just like 2 years before Return of the Jedi. So I think he always had that in mind.
Oh, I did not know that. That's useful information. So then, Obi-Wan. I'm gonna call him Obi-Wan. I'm probably gonna switch between Ben and Obi-Wan, same person. So Obi-Wan gives Luke his Anakin's lightsaber. Now, this movie came out in the 70s, so I will not bash it because of how great this movie really is. The lightsaber effect here, it don't hold up that much. It was like a little light. It was like flickering. Like you could kind of see it. And you know, watching older movies like this, it's kind of funny seeing things like that. Like you see the bad effects. So again, you know, this movie's great. I'm not gonna sit here and bash you because of a couple of bad effects.
But you can't fault it, you know.
what was I gonna say? So then this brings us to Darth Vader and Grand Moff Tarkin, who, by the way, is fucking great. I have always loved Grand Moff Tarkin. He is so freaking good. Do you guys feel the same, or is it just me?
I'm pretty similar, yeah.
I love Grand Moff Tarkin. He's so freaking good. Then this brings us to a scene where they're talking about some nonsense with the Death Star, and then Vader does his famous Force choke, and it's again, for some reason, every time Vader does something, it's funny to me. Like when he does the Force choke, it's hilarious to me. And what does he say?
Like,
he goes, "Oh, I find your lack of faith disturbing." That's funny. I'm not like, if you expect me to be like, oh, like I'm not gonna be like that. I'm gonna laugh my ass off. That's hilarious. But I like how the scene is also funny because Vader is talking about fourths. The fat talking about, bro. So then we move on to we get like a little snippet of the Emperor's voice. I wish they had done this in Empire, but they didn't. They play like his voice, but they don't show him. This was a positive in this movie and a negative in Empire Strikes Back. So then we get to the scene where Luke's family is violently killed, and I mean violently. I guess this was the time period when everybody wasn't sensitive to everything, and we could have shown something like this. This was great. I love things like this. Now that makes me sound not right in the head, but you know, shit like I like when movies go for things, you know. And I wrote in my notes, the shot of Luke's family is freaking brutal, and I love the way Luke at first is upset, but then he accepts it and he looks at them. He's like, okay, now shit is real. You know, I love that. Then we get to probably the biggest negative of this movie, and it's not even the movie's fault. So George Lucas, some years down the line, said, you know, he was sitting in his living room, probably listening to the Cantina music, and he said, you know what? I want to change the movie that I made. Now, of course, nobody stopped him, because why would they? So what does he do? He adds endless amounts of unnecessary CGI that looks absolutely horrendous. Guys, some of this CGI, I know it's the 70s, but oh my god. This is why I wish we could watch the original version. Everybody's craving that original movie, because nobody wants to see this crap. I don't want to watch the movie like this. It's terrible. So many unnecessary shots of CGI. Like some fucking camels and speeders. I was like, ew, that looks terrible. It still looks terrible. Some of it I can defend, like some of it, like one or two shots where I'm like, that doesn't look too bad. But my god, there's some other shots in here. Oh my god, my lord, that CGI. Oof, this is gonna give me nightmares. We shift from shitty CGI effects to amazing practical effects. The practical effects in this movie are amazing. You know, they did a really good job. There's so many models and costumes and masks, especially where this is where we get into the cantina scene, which, by the way, the greatest music.
You just always vibe to it.
It's amazing. Every time it comes on, you cannot do a little dance when it comes on. It's iconic. So then this leads us to a scene that is very weird. So Obi-Wan cuts off some guy's arm because he's fucking with Luke, and you're like, oh, cool, or whatever. But I noticed something. When he cuts his arm off, his arm bleeds. And this begs the question, why is it nowhere in the prequels, nowhere in Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi, and nowhere in the sequel trilogy, lightsabers don't make people bleed? Why?
I genuinely don't know.
That's a legit question. I noticed that. I was like, This is the
George
only.
Lucas forgot he made that a thing.
This is the only movie where a lightsaber wound made somebody bleed. Think of if we had that in Phantom Menace. Darth Maul would have been spewing blood everywhere.
Probably.
They realized I wanted to appeal to like a younger audience, so they had to take out the blood. And they're like, oh, well,
Remember the world got more soft as it gets into the 2000s.
Fuck them kids.
Yeah.
Moving on, but yeah, that's gonna bug me throughout the rest of these movies. So then this brings us to the introduction of probably one of the greatest Star Wars characters ever made, Han Solo. First of all, Harrison Ford, you are a legend, and I will always look up to you because of how much of a prick you are in these movies. You are probably a nice gentleman in real life. So, yeah, we get introduced to Chewie and oh, by the way, I always thought Chewie looked weird in this movie compared to every other movie he's in. I think
he
it's
looks more human-like.
Yeah, I think it's because of the costume. It's probably because of the costume. His head looks a little circular, more circular. Kevin, you want to explain what you're doing down there?
Don't worry about it.
So then we get to the Greedo scene. Now, if you are a lifelong Star Wars fan, you know what I'm gonna say, and I put it in my notes in all caps. Han shot first. Moving on. So then we get a CG. We get a shitty CGI Jabba the Hutt. This pisses me off a lot for two reasons. Number one, he looks absolutely horrendous. Second of all, this pisses me off because before the prequels, this is technically the first time we're supposed to be seeing him. Now, for those of you who know, technically, this scene was never in the movie. This scene was added with a lot of Lucas's brilliant ideas, and this should have never been a thing. Technically, the first time you're supposed to see him is in Return of the Jedi. And when you see him in Return of the Jedi, it's practical effects and he looks amazing. So I don't understand why he felt the need to have him here. And technically, the scene doesn't even make any sense because Greedo confronts him and tells him about Jabba the Hutt and tells him, oh, you owe him money or whatever. And then Han shoots Greedo, and then he talks to Jabba the Hutt about the money afterwards. The scene would have made sense if you had Jabba the Hutt talk to Han at first, and then he talks to Greedo about it. Have Greedo say, oh, well, I don't care what Jabba the Hutt says, I'm here to kill you right here and now. Or, oh, I'm not as forgiving as Jabba the Hutt. How hard is that? Why must I do the thinking for everybody? Ay. Moving on, we get, oh, by the way, this goes for all reviews involving her. Rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. You're amazing. You will be missed. Seeing you on screen in all of these movies is genuinely heartbreaking because you are amazing. So we get another scene with Vader, Grandma Tarkin, and Leia. They are interrogating Leia, and Leia tells him, oh, Tatooine is the base or whatever, and Grandma Tarkin's like, you're full of shit. And they blow up Alderaan. First of all, I don't know how they made this practical effects by blowing up the planet. I don't know how, but good.
Watermelon and green screen.
Good shit. Yeah, probably. Good shit on George Lucas. That looks phenomenal how they did that. First of all, that was the biggest dick move anyone could. People say, oh, well, the biggest dick move was Ben not telling Luke that Darth Vader was his father. No, bro. I would much rather have that happen to me than having my whole home planet blew up right in front of my face.
And technically, they can't get mad at Ben not telling Luke the truth because technically the truth wasn't even known at the time.
What do you mean?
Nobody knew that Darth Vader was Luke's father until Episode 5, like when it first came out.
That's not the point I'm trying to make.
You said PP.
I mean, fans could, whatever. I don't even know what you're saying anymore. So then we get, hold on, let me kill this fucking guy right here. There we go. So then, yeah, Alderaan gets destroyed. It's fantastic, and I love the reaction. Oh yeah, this is another thing. I love the reaction from Ben Kenobi when he feels it, because it's similar to when Order 66 happened, and Yoda was like, "Oh my God, what the fuck is happening?" I love the line too. Like I feel like
Yeah.
like suddenly,
Amazing.
yeah. I love
the
that.
screens have just been silenced.
That's a great line. So side note, I feel like we're gonna say this throughout the rest of the series. The score in this movie is absolutely phenomenal. John Williams has to be one of the, yeah, you know, like how.
All hail King Williams.
I don't know how this man could make such great music.
Talent, man.
So moving on, I like the scene where they all get to the Death Star and Ben immediately, Vader immediately, like, he came to the ship, he was like, oh, I sensed something. I love that. I love that he immediately knew, oh, somebody's here. I love that. So then the movie kind of slows down, kind of doesn't. I love all the stuff with Han and Luke and Chewie and Leia. That stuff is awesome. The stuff with Obi-Wan, it's a little comical. Like, it's a little funny how this little old man is just sneaking around the Death Star. You know, oh, I'm just gonna get by over here. But you know, it's fun. I get what was happening. Again, it was just a little ridiculous for me. This brings us to everyone rescuing Leia. You know, they all get to the trash compactor. I always found the trash compactor scene so weird. I don't know why. It's such a weird scene to me. I don't know. It's always been so weird. Because I never understood what was, like, what attacked them. I never understood that. And, like, I understood why they were about to die, but I don't know. It just felt like an out of place scene to me. I don't know. It was weird. I do like the line from 3PO though, when they're all screaming because they got saved, and he's like, "Oh no, they're dying! Listen to them!" I love that. That was hilarious.
That was really funny.
3PO and R2D2 in all of these movies, even the prequels, they're amazing together. They really are. You know.
Yeah.
The scene where Han Solo charges at all the stormtroopers is absolutely hysterical and makes me laugh every time.
It's like, okay.
It literally just reminds you of every time teenagers play freaking Call of Duty and think they're big shot and charge against the whole team. They kill one person and then they get obliterated. That's literally what that is like. It's hilarious. I loved it.
It is, yeah.
This is what Star Wars is about, connecting to current events. So we get to the Darth Vader Obi-Wan scene. You see, there I go. See, I switched. Get to the Darth Vader Obi-Wan scene. Now, this was the very first lightsaber fight ever made, technically. Now, a lot of people say, "Oh, this fight is trash. This fight is trash." I don't really call it a fight. I don't really call it a fight. I'll call it an altercation, because really, they're not confronting each other to fight. That's the way I see it. They're not confronting each other like the way Anakin and Obi-Wan did. Like, Obi-Wan did not, in A New Hope, Obi-Wan did not go to kill Vader. At least, that's what I think. I knew Vader wanted to kill Ben, but I don't think Obi-Wan wanted to kill Darth Vader. But yeah, I don't... What?
I know this movie technically came out a long time ago, but I think this is in part due to what Pat said, like, oh, they were still good inside Anakin. I guess that would kind of explain why.
No, that's not what. That has nothing to do with it. I just said Anakin was trying to kill him.
I'm at the other way.
What? That Obi-Wan was trying to save him? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, but, like, Obi-Wan didn't want to kill him. Like you said.
Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. So then this fight, I don't mind it. You know, it's not god awful. You know, the effects I think hold up. The lightsaber effects aren't too bad. I like them. I love the line from Vader. I love it, Master. I fucking love it. I love Vader so much. He's such a dick, and I love it. He's the cool kind of movie dick. You know, you have like bad dicks when you're just like, shut the fuck, like, why are you talking? Then there's people like Darth Vader where it's like, tell me more. I want to know everything. So this is when Ben dies, and I don't know about you guys, I always found it weird when he died. Like, he literally just whacks him. Like, I get what they were trying to do. I get what they're trying to say. Oh, he becomes one with the Force. I'm perfectly fine with that. But the way he dies is so weird to me. He literally just whack-dunk and he dies. It's so, it's kind of funny the way he dies. I always laugh when he dies. It's kind of funny. But Luke's reaction really helps like sell the emotional effect, so I like that. And I like when Obi-Wan looks at him and then he sacrifices himself. I like that. I put in my notes, the pacing in this movie is really good up to this point, because it was about to be the third act, and this movie flies by, if you ask me. It never feels long. And then I put in my notes, why couldn't Grand Moff Tarkin take the advice from that Imperial soldier and get off the Death Star when he told him to? That way we could have had more of Grand Moff Tarkin. But no, Grand Moff Tarkin, oh, I want to stay on the Death Star. So then we get possibly the best third... Yeah, right? We possibly get the best third act in a Star Wars movie. This, guys. This... Oh, excuse me. This third act with the space battle is absolutely phenomenal. Everything in this scene holds up 100%. The effects are fantastic. The music, the score is, oh my god, the best chase, like the best space, you know, thing you could ever ask for. You know, the intensity is great. You feel every time somebody goes for that oscillator in the Death Star, you know, it feels like urgent, like go, 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 go. Come on, come on, you gotta do it, you gotta do it. I love it. I love the way it ends with Han coming to the rescue and blowing up Darth Vader, which was kind of comical the way that happens. I don't know. That was always comical to me. The way he just like spins out of control, like, oh no, I'm dying, no. Like it, I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we got the great ceremony. Chewie did not get his medal. That's a crime against humanity. And the movie ends. That's it. That was Star Wars 1977. You know, on a movie on its own like this, it's great. You know, it's great seeing this movie that can stand on its own. You know, obviously with the entire saga complete now, it's even more. But back when in 1977, when this movie came out, everyone was just like taken out by it. It was just like, what? Like, nobody knew that Star Wars was going to be like this great big thing. I'm sure that this was a huge risk. And this just reminds me of a simpler time in Hollywood when studios would take risks, you know. I really miss those times when Hollywood would take risks with their movies and not just make the same fucking shit over and over again. Nothing but sequels and reboots. You know, not having to rely on people like Quentin Tarantino and Edgar Wright to give us original movies, you know. But that's gonna do it for episode 4. We all love this movie. It's a great Star Wars movie. You know, this kicks off the great movies so far, and we're all excited to keep going. Next we're gonna bring you guys the episode on the next one we're gonna give you our review of The Empire Strikes Back, so look out for that and take it easy with this whole quarantine shit. See ya.